Aries. Hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aries collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for Aries gang, the Rams? As we are right towards the back end of Aquarius season, what energies, messages, insights could we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aries mid-February. What's the vibe? What's the energy? And I hope every one of you had a fantastic Valentine's Day. As you can see, I'm in the season spirit. You know, I always like to play with the backgrounds and stuff like that. But yeah, I like this card. It does seem fun. Now, there is a cautionary energy that I do tie in with this card. Usually it's pretty lighthearted and nice. So I like seeing it. It's always a welcome sight at the beginning of a reading for me. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So if you look at the image, to me, it just feels fun, right? We see like this unicorn or horse, we have a snow globe, all these little toys, and to me, this is a card of leisure and having a good time. Now, again, as with every card, there's ups and downs, you know, darks and lights. But in the good aspect, this could be spirit saying like, hey, Aries, either you're really enjoying yourself with something, or maybe you need to. If you've been going through some dull times, if you're a little bored, have a little cabin fever, if you've been dealing with serious things and situations, this card is spirit wanting you to lighten the load, so to speak, or lighten the mood. Now, I always say that people have fun in a variety of different ways, right? Like sometimes it's going out, sometimes it's being social, sometimes it's having a good night in. So to me, it's like make some time to enjoy yourself and have fun, which is important. As an Aries myself, I know we like to have a good time, and things could get quite dull for us sometimes. Now, the downside to this card is that sometimes it could be having a little too much fun. So it's all about the balance. So again, whether it's you or somebody else showing up here, this energy can get carried away. So there's something here about limits, limitations. But I mean, I think it's nice, especially if the energy is moving in this direction, which means it seems fun. So we're going to let it chill out right there, Aries. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Aries gang. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So it was titled A Surprising Return. So things popping back up out of nowhere. So for some of you, maybe it's a thought process, an individual, a situation. To me, it was something that like just, hey, hi, peekaboo, here I am. So just know, even if the energy didn't pop up this last week, it can bleed over for a couple weeks, that there was some sort of energy revisiting. Okay, so we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Aries. What's happening in mid-February for my good friends? Oh, okay. So just as we're speaking about limits, we have the devil in position number 1. Nothing to be nervous about, but it is most definitely an energy we want to keep a very close eye on as we move through here, especially in the first position, because you know me, I like to have an action card in the first spot. And the devil is not quite an action card. Okay, 4 of Pentacles. Why is this energy so bogged down? I mean, it doesn't have to be bad, but I mean, it's great for money. I'll tell you that. Like these first 2 cards, if we're talking like business, work, money, career, that I mean, beautiful chef's kiss. But if we're talking like emotional or interpersonal relationships, that's where this energy could get very clunky. And right here on the back end, we got the 3 of Pentacles. We could be seeing somebody else's energy, where it's like we're sharing a burden. That's very specific. Okay, so let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first glance, you know me, I always like to look at the elements first. And we have one element shining through here in a very heavy way for us, Aries. We got the devil, 4 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, all earth. Now, Earth doesn't have to be frustrating. It doesn't have to be bad. There's actually a lot of good things with Earth. I always say that it can represent our sense of stability, our sense of security. So maybe some of you are feeling pretty stable, feeling pretty cool. This energy can sometimes also feel like it's plateaued. So that's more towards the challenging aspect, but this is great for work, finance, business, money. So a lot of you might be in Pentacles mode, great for investments, especially in the center there. So we have this earthy energy that's showing up now as a fire sign, and I could speak from experience. Sometimes this earthy energy can be a little frustrating because it can be restrictions. The downside of earth energy is it could be very slow, very clunky, very methodical. So sometimes it can represent frustrations. That cabin fever we were referencing earlier. So for some of you, this is beautiful, great, and fantastic. For others, this might be a frustrating bit of energy to have to deal with because they all have similar things straight across the board. So we're going to hope this is a nice stability and not an energy that seems to plateau, because this can also represent kind of feeling in limbo. Because this energy can stretch and stretch and stretch for a long time. So let's go through and start building it out piece by piece. Position number one, we have the devil himself. Now, for some of you, if you have Capricorn placements or if you're connected to Capricorn, uh, not an issue whatsoever. And if you're a Capricorn cross watching, doesn't mean you're devils. It's only due to the goat symbolism. Now, I always like to say with every card, no matter what the imagery tells us, even though that looks like fire and brimstone, there's good aspects to it. And, I like to be optimistic, so we'll start there. The good things about the devil: great for anything financial. We already discussed this when we looked at the suit as a whole, because the devil and the devil archetype and energy does tie into pleasurable, material based type of energy. So remember back here when we saw this, and I was like, oh yeah, it looks like it's having fun, it looks like it's having a good time. There is something here about like limits, because when we look to the shadow side of the devil, if we're not talking about the stability and the monetary stuff or the work related things, the devil can represent addictive tendencies. It can represent possessiveness and jealousy. There is a toxicity to it. It can also represent feeling trapped by something. So that's usually not a good energy for us Aries to be in, right? If we're feeling cornered, if we're feeling trapped, we can lash out. So it's just something that we need to pay attention to. But again, as far as like the enjoyment, the pleasurable, I mean, some areas you might be a little more pleasure seeking more than you normally are. Again, no judgment here. Totally get it. So it's great for the money, but when it comes to the interpersonal, yeah, it's just something that if we're looking at a problem or a situation, the devil hangs around for a long time. It's like once you open Pandora's box, the energy is there. So watch out for any situations like that where it's like, all right, if you cross a certain line, there's no putting that back in the box. So we'll take a look at it. And again, I'm not saying it's definitely a bad thing. Now, moving to the middle, we have a card that I kind of look at as a neutral, depending on the situation. We have the Four of Pentacles. Now, again, for the positives, this is great for saving money. It's great for budgeting. It's great for monetary acquisition. So think of anything, whether you're putting money in financial instruments or whether you're stacking up your own pentacles or working really hard and diligently. This card, fantastic A1 monetary energy. So again, career, business stuff might be looking really nice. But when we get to the emotional level with the Four of Pentacles, it's holding on to something. So there could be a behavior, a thought process, an individual, something where it's like, I can't quite let it go, right? Like this energy, it's like I'm clasped onto it. Now, in the roughest sense of the energy, the Four of Pentacles can, similar to the devil, represent possessiveness. It could represent jealousy. It could represent an energy where it's like, I can't let go of it. So sometimes it can be a grudge or jealousy. So we'll need to look at it. But needless to say, these two energies are not big action cards. They feel stuck. So watch out for that frustration I was talking about earlier, where you might lash out if you're feeling cornered, where it's like, okay, well, I'm cornered. I got to do this now. Um, on the back end, the energy does lighten up, which is great. We do have the Three of Pentacles. Now, I always say when it comes to all threes, they can represent group dynamics. So whether it's coworkers, family members, significant others, the Three of Pentacles to me is my circle of trust, right? The people closest to me. In the positive sense, it's a card of teamwork. It's a card of assistance. So if there's something you need help with, don't be afraid to ask. Maybe someone's going to ask you for a hand or ask you for help when the Three of Pentacles is here. Teamwork makes the dream work is the big credo when it comes to this card. But the downside, obviously, with the Three of Pentacles, it could represent an energy that is really difficult to deal with. It could be an energy that's really hard to work with. So there might be someone you're connected to that's being very standoffish. They might be in an energy where it's like, all right, well, I'm trying to make this work, but you're being hard to work with. And again, this is heavily focused on career matters. But I want to dive deeper on all of it, Aries. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. Let's see what's happening. Guide, spirit team. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that devil. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aries, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the devil here? Please. What's happening with the devil? We want to see what direction we're heading in here. All right, we got one of the Aries power cards. This does feel a little bit spontaneous. You know, like sometimes when you're feeling a little devious, or it's like, yeah, I want to get into a little bit of trouble. Not in like a terrible, treacherous type of way, but like when I see the devil with the Knight of Wands, it does feel very risky. It does feel very daring. And I'm not sure if I've seen this for you in recent weeks, but this is very much urge. Based. And I saw this for the Gemini reading, I think a couple of weeks ago, where it's like, oh, it feels a little risky. And listen, everyone knows Aries energy. We're not afraid to take a risk or take a jump if we need to, as long as it's a calculated risk. But yeah, the devil with the Knight of Wands, either it's something a little ingrained or obsessive. So whether you're dealing with a person that's that way, it's like this is a very addictive type of energy. So take that for what it's worth. Just know whether it's something, a thought process, a person that may be very addictive to you, where this person's like, oh, they're like a drug to me. It gives me that kind of vibe, but it also gives me this risky, like I want to stir things up type of vibe. So just know if you're feeling a little bored or stale, like to me, it's like, let's get into some trouble here, but in a fun way, hopefully. I mean, that's how it feels. We're just going to keep going. So this can be a bit of a warning from spirit. Like, all right, you might be a little more wild than you normally are, or the urges could be stronger. And there's this addictive quality too. All right, let's keep going. It is what it is, right? We'll see if it's just one situation or multiple. I don't want to say this is definitely lashing out against something. Everyone knows that Aries energy, we don't mind a little fight, right? Like if there's something we need to push through or push for, Aries will make it happen. But let's keep going here. It's very unique, so very risky too. But let's see what the Four of Pentacles has. Okay. All right. So we have the Ten of Wands underneath. Watch the energy levels in this time. So for some Aries, you might just feel a little more tired, a little more zapped than usual. But to me, this feels more of like a frustration to me. So whether it is a person or a situation, to me, it's like, this is really frustrating me. It's like I'm pushing, I'm trying to get a good result. I'm being adaptive. I'm trying to help it. And it's like this energy won't budge. So whether this is a very stubborn individual or a very stubborn situation, like the Four of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands can also be very grudgy, where it's like I'm holding on to this situation or this problem and I don't know how to resolve the energy. And again, if you're very sensitive to energy in general, watch out for this because it feels hyper intense. So just know like emotions, feelings, everything could be amped up when we have this. It does feel heavy, but we still have some good stuff to go. Now, the Ten of Wands, the thing I love about this card, it is very determined. When I set my mind to something, I will continue to push forward. There's no quit in this card, but it is heavy. So whether it's on the mind, the body, the soul, like there's some sort of weight to the energy. Watch out for boredom. So like when we mix this energy here on the front with the like, let's mix it up, let's get into some trouble, and then this energy in the center is just like boring. There could be someone or something that's like watching paint dry. So I'm not really helping for our Aries cliches, right? Like people always say Aries, oh, they get bored super quick, or Aries they're very prone to just do things without thinking. It's kind of like we're leaning into the stereotype this week. Again, saying this as an Aries myself, I have multiple placements in Aries because this energy is like, I want to mix things up. I want to do something here. And then this energy is just bored. Like the energy is dry or it's just very heavy. So just, again, watch the urges, the temptation, the risk. Either that or you might just be dealing with a frustrating person or situation or those feelings of frustration. It's like pent up energy to me. Let's move over to the Three of Pentacles. let's see, maybe it'll smooth out here. And notice we got all earth on the top, we have all fire on the bottom. And remember, I was saying about the earth that could represent security, but also material matters. Fire is the realm of action. So the things we do are things other people do, but they're both outside influences. That's another thing. So there could be certain things or situations that might be out of your control, out of your hands. Um, but watch out for the lashing out. Let's go in on the Three of Pentacles. Okay. All right. So we have the Nine of Swords in the upright, and we're going to have to look at this several different ways, my friends, because the Nine of Swords obviously is like a stressed out, anxious, nervous type of energy. So for some of you, maybe Spirit wants you to be in hermit mode for a little bit longer, where it's like, hey, listen, if you have a routine, if you have a daily schedule, stick to the routine. Like, even though this energy wants to mix it up and shake things up, this energy here on the back end, there's like a social pressure here too, which is super unique. But the Nine of Swords is stressed out. So there again, there could be a person that's either stressing about you, or you might be stressed in general about another person and their actions and the way they're acting. That's like stressed, anxious, nervous is the big vibe here on the back end. But when we look big picture, there can be an important or serious warning here in general, not just about the risque, lashing out type of energy. It's the fact that if we are looking at someone's energy, how they put it towards you, this might not be the healthiest, right? Because we have like the addictive tendency here and the potential obsessive, and then we have the territorial and holding on, this is mine. And then, oh, whenever you talk to somebody, I don't like it. So I have like this potential jealous energy showing up here too. So watch out for anything like that, where it's like, no, you're mine. No, you're mine. I can't talk to that person. I mean, it's super straightforward. Again, only take it if it hits for you. But yeah, Nine of Swords on the back, and it could just be someone getting under the skin, or it's someone that if they're looking at you this way, it's like, why are you stressing so much? Why are you so concerned? Let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadow. A lot of specifics came through this week. Again, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. It's always on a spectrum, right? Like this could be very minor for a lot of Aries, especially with the boredom aspect. But position number one, we got the devil with the Knight of Wands in the upright. Yeah, either someone is very hyper focused, attached on you, or this could be you feeling very risky or wanting to shake things up, where it's like, oh, let's get into a little trouble here. Hopefully, all in good fun, right? Moving to the center, we have the Four of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. Great for that no quit, not letting go of something. But this also feels frustrating. So watch out for frustrating people, frustrating situations. There's like the strong possessiveness I'm picking up here too. So watch out for that. But yeah, this energy, it's just really difficult to work with. And then even moving to the back end, I have the Three of Pentacles with the Nine of Swords in the upright. So whether someone's stressing you out, maybe it's social energy in general, where it's like, I just want to be in hermit mode. These people are stressing me out. It's like outside influences. But then, yeah, just watch out for any people that are very possessive or jealous of you. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yeah, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going. What do we got? What do we got? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, King of Wands. So another Aries power card. Remember, it's not gender specific. We do have like a lot of pointers towards fire signs and other people, with all these different energies swirling around. The good thing about the King of Wands is it's an energy that doesn't waste its energy, where it's like, you know what, I'm going to focus on this because that's where I see results. I'm not going to waste my energy on this. So there could be certain things, thoughts, situations where Spirit might want you to conserve your attention and conserve your creative power, right? Because sometimes the shadow side of the King of Wands, if it's not very unpredictable and risky and I don't want to say pleasure driven, but the energy itself, if it's not spontaneous, this energy can waste its attention and waste its time with something. So there could be certain things that spirits like Aries don't put any attention into that. That's just an energy sink. Okay, like you're just throwing energy away. So just again, watch out for that. It's good because it doesn't waste energy sometimes, but there's also this very spontaneous energy. And watch out for boredom this week. But we're going to leave it at that, Aries. That's what I have for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com, once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.